Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Mid-Career GPS podcast. I'm your host, John Nerrell. This is the show for mid-career professionals who feel stuck, undervalued, or unsure what's next, and know that doing more isn't the answer. Here we focus on how you show up, how you make clear decisions, build influence, and take control of your career. Let's get started. Getting to mid-career is filled with many challenges, hurdles, successes, and expenses. After all, getting a degree and obtaining an advanced degree doesn't come without some cost. It makes sense to invest in your career and your leadership development. After all, that is one way you choose to show up. But what do you do when you've invested all of this money and time, effort, and energy, and then decide you want to do something else? My guest today has lived this experience and shares what it means to ignore the sunk costs. Today, you will meet Lisa Kaplin, an executive leadership coach, psychologist, and founder of Lisa Kaplin, LLC. With over 25 years of experience in leadership development, Lisa specializes in helping senior leaders strengthen emotional intelligence, reduce stress, and lead with clarity, confidence, and resilience in high-pressured environments. Lisa is a professional certified coach and has coached executives and high-potential leaders across industries including cybersecurity, financial services, healthcare, and technology. Lisa's coaching integrates evidence-based coaching with practical leadership tools to help her clients improve decision-making, communication, relationships, and overall performance. Known for her warm, direct, and practical approach, Lisa partners with leaders who want to thrive, not just survive, while navigating constant change and increasing demands. I met Lisa a few months ago when we served on a webinar panel sponsored by the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching. IPEC is where we both obtained our coaching certification. And it was after being on that panel with her that I knew I had to have her on the podcast. So sit back and enjoy my conversation with Lisa Kaplin. Lisa Kaplin, welcome to the show. It is great to have you here today.
Thanks, John. I'm excited to be here.
You know, I shared a little bit in the introduction that we have a common bond through IPEC. And of course, one of the things that we know in IPEC is that we all have this journey and this journey that brings us to where we are. Your mid-career moment is particularly interesting and one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show. Would you please share with us your mid-career moment?
I'm happy to. So after I got a master's and a doctorate in psychology when I was having three young children. I had three young children and I finished my internship and I did all the things. And then I kind of stepped away. I did a few things related to psychology, but I stepped away. And then after a few years, I wanted to get back what I thought was psychology because that's what I had studied. And I was kind of lost. A friend told me, "Oh, go take this coaching course. It'll help you kind of get back into it, get your clinical skills back." So I went to IPEC, and fairly quickly I knew I never wanted to do therapy again. And kind of my head exploded, as well as many people around me's head exploded. I had spent a ton of money and a ton of time getting this degree. And then all of a sudden I was like, yeah, that's not what I want to do. Now, coaching has some similar vibes, obviously, but I essentially walked away from a master's and a doctorate of like literally intense, expensive, like life-changing education. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go be a coach, which freaked a few people out in my life.
And that's judgment.
Yeah, right.
Because we all deal with judgment.
We all deal with judgment.
So Lisa, for the listeners who have heard it from me, but we haven't talked about it in a while, let's hear it from you. What's the difference between therapy and coaching?
Yeah, this is a huge question. I mean, it looks very similar, right? It's a confidential space. It's often two people speaking to each other. There's a bit of a hierarchy in therapy where the therapist is the expert and the client is the client. In coaching, you're equals. And the other big difference in it, there's a lot of variables here because there's a lot of different therapy modalities, but therapy often is about really processing the past, and coaching is tapping into the past to get to the present to move to the future. And I think the big shift for me when I learned about coaching and I learned how to coach was the forward motion of it. I loved it. And I realized that I didn't really want to work in the trauma, severe mental illness space, which is the space I had been in. I believe in therapy and I'm glad there's great therapists out there to do that work. I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I get that. I got my bachelor's in psychology and
Ah,
thought I was going to go through the whole path and have the shingle on the door and all that kind of stuff, and then very quickly realized I didn't think I could emotionally handle that.
yeah.
Right. So
Yeah,
I
it's a
I got
lot.
out of that a little bit earlier, and then I went into teaching and did an education career for 25 years. So,
There you go.
because what better way to teach middle school than to have a math certification and a psych degree to go with
Well, there it
it?
is. I mean, that psych degree never goes to waste, as I say all the time. Never goes to waste.
So I'm really glad you said that because as we navigate our mid-career, what we have learned through our education and what we have learned through our professional and personal experiences, those totalities all bring us to this particular point.
Totally.
And for the person who's listening today that is struggling to find their way or to figure out what their next step's going to be because they're okay where they are, they're unhappy where they are, but they just don't want to settle, right? They know they're
Right.
capable of more.
Right.
What would you say to them in terms of getting past all of the quote unquote baggage they may be holding on to and beating themselves up to move them forward?
Yeah, this is such a great question. So I was a finance major in college. You see that really panned out as well. Um, but one of the most important things I learned, and I share this with my kids all the time, I was a finance major and economics minor, is to ignore your sunk costs. And so what do I mean by that for an education is a lot of times people get stuck in, and I was stuck a little bit in this, like, oh my gosh, I got this, doctoral degree that cost me literally $100,000 and I spent all this time and money and that's what I have to do because that's what I've already invested in, and that's the lie. You don't have to ignore your sunk costs. You'll bring everything you've learned, your whole life experience with you. But if you hold on to this, I have to, I should, I must, you're going to be stuck. You're never going to figure out what you really want to do. Honestly, once I made the shift, it's been a joy, and it's not easy to start a business, but it's been a joyful process because it was exactly who I was and what I wanted to do. So when I ignored my sunk costs, like the money spent, I can't get it back, right? The education is done. I have it. I use it in some ways. Move forward. It's that stuck in the past thing that really holds people back.
So I'm curious, when you talk about the money's already spent, if you don't mind me asking, was it already paid off?
No. No. So that was the other thing. My husband was like, I'm sorry, did you just say that you don't want to be a psychologist? And you have about like $100,000 in debt. Like he was looking at me like, what have I done? Who have I married? But I knew in my heart that if I picked the career that was right for me, the money would follow, the security would follow. I was able to pay off the loans very quickly once I moved into this area. And I had to have some faith in that. And I'm privileged because I had a husband who I could survive, right?
Mhm.
We could survive on the one income. So I know all that. And not everybody has that. And I think that's an important piece to keep in mind. And yet we all know that when we're where we're supposed to be, the abundance flows with it. I
It's
say
that
we all know.
it's that alignment we look
The
for,
alignment.
right?
Yeah. It's the
So
alignment.
On the podcast, we've talked a little bit before about what I call my 4F framework. And the 4Fs, and they're all G rated. So if you're listening in the car and you've got kids in,
Well,
don't feel
what
like you
fun
have
is
to.
that?
I know, right?
Could you just add a fifth just for fun?
It's implied.
Okay,
Right?
good. Okay, good.
So the 4Fs, Lisa, are fit. Right. So where do we fit organizationally, right? The function, what's the work that we get to do that really taps into our genius, our special talents, our superpowers, if you will. The finance, because we have to talk about money and how we're
Yeah,
compensated. And then the
yeah,
last step is forward. And forward is the one I often find mid-career professionals struggle with because for some who are just looking to check the box and get the job or get the promotion, they're not looking a few steps ahead to see where that sweet spot really is for them professionally.
yep, yep.
On your path and with the clients whom you help, talk to me a little bit about what forward looks like in that arena.
Mm. Yeah, that's such I mean, in many areas it showed up for me that I realized I have a vivid memory of working with some therapy clients and being like, okay, we've talked about that. Chop, chop, let's move forward. And that
Mhm.
was my agenda, not theirs. And, um, and I own probably a few of them, a couple sessions, but um, with when I switched into coaching, the forward was so clear of the type of clients that I wanted to work with that seemed to be attracted to me as well. There was like a great mix, but also the future of what this career could look like. So forward was I could do this as I got older. I could do this if I wanted to travel and not be in the same place all the time. I could make my own schedule. I mean, there's a lot of limitations also around getting licensed as a therapist and the kind of relationships you could have with people. All of that was off the table because coaching is very different. So that's what forward looked like to me. And I want to make sure, am I answering your
You
question?
are. Yes,
Okay, good.
absolutely. Yes.
Good. I had
Yeah.
four F's in my mind. I just want to make sure.
Talk to us a little bit about the kind of people whom you help today. What's their avatar?
Their avatar is really smart, really intense, successful. They're driven. They are very tied to their values and what they love, and they're burnt out and they're stressed and they're overwhelmed and they've been on this path of what they should be doing for a long time and they don't know how to get out of it. And so it's
Mm.
like they're stuck and they're doing the same thing over and over, right? You know, and then kind of the definition of insanity. They're not insane, but
Can you give us an example of what stuck looks like for them?
it's I have to follow this specific corporate path or I have to work 60 hours a week because these people need me. I it's there's a lot of have tos. And instead of this is really what I want, and this is also the best way to find, and it's an overused word, balance in my life so that I still love what I do. And I have a life outside of work that I also love and brings me joy. And so that's the missing piece for a lot of them. They love what they do. I mean, there's a true passion to it, but they're missing out on other aspects and they see it and they know it.
So when I hear you say have tos,
Have tos.
I think of that gremlin or that little demon, if you will, that sits on our shoulder and is talking to us about all of the things that are going to happen if we don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I
Yeah.
have to stay late at work, which means I'm going to miss my kid's soccer game. And I really want to be there, but I have to provide for my family. So I'm going to have to stay late.
Yes. Have to, have to, have to. And the heaviness of have tos, right? Versus what if you chose, sometimes you will choose to stay at work for, you don't want to lose your job or, you know, you want to, there's something that's calling to you, but you're choosing it versus the have to. And that have to is so heavy. It's like, it's a should, you know, it's so heavy.
So for someone who's listening and they're sitting here and going, I have a horrible relationship with my supervisor, my manager, my leader, my executive, and I have to find a way to just deal with the circumstance.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
would you what
Well,
would you tell him?
I'd ask him a few questions, needless to say, because I'm a coach.
Okay.
Um, but the have to make a decent relationship, like there's a mess in there. That sentence was a mess for that person.
Mhm.
Versus, okay, what's going on in this relationship that's keeping probably both people dissatisfied? What can I do to change that? How can I change my mindset around it? Because we can't change other people. And then from there, this is a important piece because a lot of my clients are trying to make decisions about their career from that really unhappy place. That's not a great place to make your decision, right? Because you're making it out of stress. So what if this example you gave me, they first figured it out and then made their career decision from a place of peace of this might not be the job for me, this might not be the manager that I want to be with. Okay, but I'm making it from a peaceful place versus a stressed place. And that shift alone, huge, as you know.
Oh, absolutely. I remember leaving an organization and really stepping into the agency that I had to say, I don't have to be here.
Yes.
I make a choice to be here. And if it's no longer a great fit, or I no longer like working here, or they don't like me anymore, I know that's hard to believe, but
That's
trust me,
shocking to me.
there are people
Shocking.
in the world that don't.
That's
Right.
shocking.
So, right. That I have that agency to say I'm 100% responsible for my career. I can step out if I want.
That's that's it. And so sometimes people say, but that's not really true because I've golden handcuffs or I'm waiting for my 401k or blah blah blah. All that's true. And yet you still get to choose if you stay or not. And you still get to choose if you stay, how you want to think about your staying
Mm.
or you're going, whatever it is. That if you can't change, if you can't choose to change the situation, you can choose to change how you look at the situation. And that's the power right there. Because there's a lot of things. Like, honestly, I don't ever want to cook dinner again, ever. But it turns out like people that I love like to eat. So, you know what I mean? I'm going to choose to feed them.
Right.
And versus like, oh, I have to feed these people, right? Which is really then not a lot of love put in that meal that I might cook or order.
There is something nice about ordering out every now and then.
Right.
I totally get that. And then, last night I messed up the tenderloin. So, that was like, well, that was some sunk cost in that
There it
because it was
is.
just tough.
It's done. It's done. Ignore your sunk costs. It's done. Can't get it back. Right.
So, Lisa, we are recording this towards the beginning of March, and I'm sharing that time frame in terms of some context. So, February jobs report was not great.
No.
The world is in a very tumultuous and difficult spot at the time of our recording.
On fire. Yeah.
On fire.
On fire.
Prices are being impacted.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing I'm seeing here in 2026, I'm curious for your take on this as well, is that there is this hesitation, even more so than what we had in 2025, that we should be quote unquote grateful for the job that we have, even though it's not ideal, because it's giving me a paycheck and I don't know where the next job is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thought.
It is. It is a thought.
For the person who's thinking that, how would you challenge them on that thought?
Yeah, this is a great one. I mean, one, I'd say that thought is valid, and the feelings that come with that certainly valid because you're right, all the things, all those other things. And yet the limiting belief is that if the world's on fire, there are no jobs available. That's not true. I graduated from college at a time where everyone was like, you'll never get a job. I got a job. Right? Like I got a job pretty quickly and pretty easily in banking, no less. So
Mm.
that mindset is going to keep somebody from getting out there and really looking and getting creative and looking for other opportunities. Here's the other thing. Maybe, with all that, that stability right now is the right choice for you. To stay is the right choice. Okay, what can you add to can you take a class in something? Can you come learn a new hobby? Can you do something else to bring that joy and excitement to your life? Find it in other ways, right? What I see a lot of people doing is, I have to be here. I'm miserable. I go home and I'm miserable. I go to work and I'm miserable. All that misery, your choice. I'm said
Mm,
with love and kindness. Like, you're choosing that. There's people out there who do factory jobs that look pretty miserable that have found joy and happiness in their lives, right?
yeah.
They've chosen to find it.
I like what you said about finding ways to get creative,
Yeah,
because that's a huge mind shift, right? That we
huge.
don't have to be stuck in that regard, and we can look for something that can bring us some happiness, bring us some joy, even if it's just, I just got to get through my 9 to 5 so I can get to the weekend and do something I love.
Right. And think about what you want to do on that weekend that you're going to love and you're going to have so much fun doing. Or even, when you finish work, is what's a small thing you could do to find a little joy in those moments, right? And even the job. What do you love about the job? Do you love a coworker? Do you love, your lunch hour? What do you love about it? There's got to be one or two things, hopefully. How can you tap into that every day? So
Mhm.
that the concept that I hear people say this all the time. My clients say this to me: I'll be happy when I retire. And then I'm like, oh, when is that? Oh, 10 years. I'm like, okay, excuse me. You're going to take 10 years of your one beautiful life and be miserable.
Right.
Wow, that hurts.
Yeah. And it just speaks volumes to the heaviness you talked about earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Then it's drudging through each day. Who wants to do that?
Mhm. Yeah. So Lisa, let's do a little rapid fire here if you don't mind.
I don't
Okay?
mind.
So just
Okay.
simply fill in the blank for me here, okay?
Okay.
The biggest challenge I see mid-career professionals facing in 2026 is
Their own mindset.
the biggest challenge I see leaders and executives facing in 2026 is
Overworking.
if the ideal company could do one thing to make employees' work life better, it would be.
Oh, good God. Today is, this is Women's National or International Women's Month. Give women longer maternity leaves and
Thank
give
you.
men paternity leaves. Give them benefits. They will stay with you and be loyal with you forever. It's
Thank you.
shocking to me how easy that is.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. Um, it's December 31st, 2026.
Mm.
The biggest accomplishment we have made in the workforce this year was.
I think I think the biggest will be a healthy relationship with AI.
Mm, yeah,
I'm seeing extremes on either end, like all AI all the time or no AI ever. It's here. How are you going to find a healthy relationship with it, both as an individual, but as teams, as organizations? What's going to be that mix where we use it to make our lives, mm, I don't know, more enjoyable? I can't think of a better word.
yeah,
Um, and so we're not fighting it, and we're not also fawning over it like it's the next second coming. You know what I mean?
yeah. Um, so speaking as you, for me, my proudest accomplishment this year has been what?
So far this year?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Time with family for sure, and also rolling out an emotional intelligence course for coaches and others, um, that is really tied to my values and also to coaching, to IPEC, to many of the things that I
Mm,
value so much.
nice.
Yes.
Nice. Really, really good. Thanks for playing along with that. That was fun.
Fun. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. Lisa, we've covered a lot. We've covered everything from your career path to ignoring the sunk costs to how mid-career professionals are navigating this year, and a really great conversation too on just helping us shift our mindset and get clear about our thoughts and where we are. So as we wrap up, if you could give one piece of advice to help someone build their mid-career GPS, what would it be?
I mean, this sounds a little self-serving, but get yourself a coach, like invest in your future now, figure it out so that you don't keep going in like another 5 years, another 10 years, whether it's a coach or a mentor, whatever it works for you, figure it out so that your path forward is very clear. And so do that inner work. So often we see a lot of mid-career professionals focusing on LinkedIn and their resume, and those matter. What matters more is your internal processing.
Yeah, we have to take care of ourselves, and that's a great way for us to do that, especially if your company offers something like that. Tap into it, whether it be an employee assistance program or a professional development benefit. But if not, then how could you potentially invest in yourself in some way that would be beneficial and helpful as well?
Right. I think I mean I could pull out a couple of Amazon purchases a month and really be set for coaching for life. Right.
Right.
Hiring my own coach. Yeah.
that impulse thing with the algorithm and everything like that. Yeah, absolutely. I get
Exactly.
it. I get it. All right, Lisa. It has been such a joy. We recently connected, thanks to Natalie Siston and unpack for connecting us.
Yes.
If people want to find you, connect with you, learn more about you, I'm going to turn the mic over to you. Please share with us all the great things where people can connect.
Definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. It's Kaplin. Blame my husband's family for that spelling. Lisa Kaplin, or my website is lisakaplin.com, or my email is lisa@lisakaplin.com. I kept it really creative and simple. So I'd love to hear from you. Happy to connect on LinkedIn or beyond.
Yeah, I will make sure all of that is in the show notes. Lisa Kaplin, thank you for being such a great guest on the Mid-Career GPS podcast today.
Thanks, John. It's been so much fun. It's great connecting with you.
Thank you. All right, my friends, we covered a lot in this episode, but if there's one big takeaway, here's what I want you to hone in on this week. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts? What thoughts are particularly holding you back along this mid-career journey? Are you beating yourself up over some sunk costs that Lisa talked about when she shared about her education and professional path to where she is now? Are you beating yourself up over all of the have-tos that you're saying to yourself about your current work situation? And what might be something you can do to actually shift that? This week, I want you to get really clear on what your thoughts are and your feelings behind them, so ultimately you can decide on which action step is best for you. So my friends, remember this: you will build your mid-career GPS 1 mile or 1 step at a time, and how you show up matters. Make it a great rest of your day. Thank you for listening to the Mid-Career GPS podcast. Make sure to follow on your favorite listening platform. And if you have a moment, I'd love to hear your comments on Apple Podcasts. Visit johnnarroll.com for more information about how I can help you build your mid-career GPS, or how I can help you and your organization with your next workshop or public speaking event. Don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn and follow me on social at John Narroll Coaching. I look forward to being back with you next week. Until then, take care, and remember, how we show up matters.